Hi, it's the M.L.M for the Soul channel, and I do have a new topic for today. Before I begin, I just would like to say, may the words and expressions of my mouth and the thoughts and meditations of my heart find favor and acceptance before you, Hashem. And some people I thank have inspired me. I hope they can inspire you as well. I will have links below this video to their sites. They are Rabbi Shalom Arush, Rabbi Lazer Brody, Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi, Rabbi Eli Mansour, Rabbi Alon Anava, Rabbi Yuval Ovadia, Rav Daniel Asor, Nisa Baruch Black, David Sachs, Rabbi Michael Skobach, Jews for Judaism, Rabbi David Usher, and Rabbi Yaron Reuven. And as well, if you've never checked out this channel before, I will have a link right below this video as well to my first video that explains what M.L.M for the Soul means, what it stands for, and what I am doing. So this week I call this video called Hope Saves Lives. And I take this from a something that was written that I get sent to my email every Friday before Shabbat. And it's called A Portion of Kindness by Rosally Saltsman. And I'll have her name and that below. And I think that's a book that she wrote, but she puts this in and she talks about the Parashat, which is really nice. So I wanted to acknowledge that, and I thought this was really beautiful. And this actually was in reference to last week's Parashat, Vayigash, but it was just such a beautiful email and information that I thought it would be very appropriate and for people to hear what she has to say. So when it was about to be revealed to Yaakov that Yosef was alive and acting viceroy of Egypt, the brothers were afraid that the sudden shock would be too much for him. So Serach, I think that's how you pronounce her name, S-E-R-A-C-H, Asher's daughter, sang to Yaakov and played the harp, relating to him gently in song that Yosef was still alive. This lifted Yaakov's spirits, and he blessed her. According to Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer, Serach lived for centuries and entered the Garden of Eden, or Gan Eden, alive. Now, I don't know what her age was, and I've never looked that up, but that'd be interesting to see how old she was, because she did live a long life. There are very few people in Tanakh who were given this privilege of entering Gan Eden alive, which includes Hanoch, Eliyahu Hanavi. There was also Eliezer, Eved Abraham. There was also Batya Bat Paro, and there's a few others. I think it was about 10. So why did Serach merit such a privilege just because she sang a song? It's because she gave Yaakov hope. We live in a society where pessimism and cynicism have become the norm. We have come to expect bad news and think the worst. Giving somebody hope gives them a reason to live. The following excerpt, which describes a death march during the Holocaust, is from a story called Life After Death. It's A Small World After All by Rabbi Hanoch Teller, and it demonstrates how hope can save lives. This is a beautiful story, pretty amazing. So I guess It's A Small World After All is the name of the book, if you're interested in getting that. So here's how the story goes. We were marching to eternity, never allowed to rest or eat. Russian planes were strafing our, I don't know what that word means, maybe it's incorrect, but I've never heard of strafing, so I don't know what that means. Strafing our column indiscriminately, so the wardens as well as the prisoners were fair game. And even as the Russians swooped down, the retreating German soldiers were still shooting at us, knowing that their opportunities for this pastime would soon be over. The carnage was unbelievable, as it is indescribable, and every bone and muscle in my body protested in agony. I was ready to give up. We were all going to die, I thought. Why fight it? I had no idea if anyone else in my family was still alive. I felt there was no reason to go on. My pace began to slow, a sure sign that I lost the will to live, and that I was about to give up. I could not take another step. Just then a kind fellow, Jew, directly on my right, hugged my shoulders and said, "Son, hold on a bit longer. Do you see that steeple straight ahead? That's as far as we are going. You can do it. Only another step or two. Hold on just a few more minutes and we'll make it together." So there were countless steeples along the way before we actually reached our destination. Steeples dot the entire Polish countryside. My anonymous savior not only rescued me, he provided me with a philosophy for life. This is beautiful. Mind and body can endure when there is a goal to be reached. It was this realization which enabled me to survive and has guided me ever since, one step at a time. I'm going to repeat that sentence again. Mind and body can endure when there is a goal to be reached. That's just amazing. So the man made it through the march alive because his comrade gave him hope that if he held on just a bit more, he would make it. People have died because they have given up hope. He who can give hope, not false hope, but real hope, to another holds the key to paradise. So, and then from the Pasuk, in Bereshis 47:21, as for the nation, he resettled it by cities from one end of Egypt's border to the other. So when Yosef was resettling the cities, he did it in mass. While he didn't want the Egyptians to lay claim to their former properties, he recognized the folly of splitting up communities. So he resettled each city so that friends, neighbors, and communities would stay together. That's from Rashi, Radach, Kuni, and Mesech Chochmah. So this was more than good statesmanship, it was chesed. People who have spent years cultivating friendships and good relations with their neighbors are loath to give them up. It takes tremendous emotional effort to build relationships with people, and it is traumatic when these relationships end. Part of the trauma suffered during the recent evacuation of the settlements in Gush Katif was due to the breakup of strong communities. While few of us are in a position to dictate the logistics of whole communities, we do govern small sections of communities. The boss who is at the head of the team at work holds the dynamics of that team in his hands. The family head who decides to move uproots his family from their home. Even a kid choosing size for a baseball team sets the stage for interpersonal dynamics. While sometimes it can be necessary, even beneficial to change dynamics at work, move to another place, or reorganize a social group, we have to do so with the wisdom of Yosef, without destroying support system or unnecessarily depriving others of nurturing relationships. And then from the next pasuk in Bereshit 45:14, then he fell upon his brother Binyamin's neck and wept, and Binyamin wept upon his neck. So the Midrash states that each brother wept because he foresaw the destruction of the sanctuaries built in the other's domain. The temples built in Binyamin's portion of Yerushalayim, and the tabernacle in Shiloh, which was in Ephraim's, Yosef's son's portion. So Rabbi Yecheskel of Kuzmir, one of the Admorim in the 19th century Poland, asked, why does each one cry over the other's misfortune? Would it not be more natural for each one to cry over the tragedy that will occur in his own portion? We learn from this, he answers, that someone is supposed to grieve more over his fellow's misfortune than his own. And that if we are on a high enough level to accept our own suffering with love, we are not supposed to accept another suffering with the same equanimity. Feeling others' pain as if it were our own is true chesed. So Yosef's half-brothers were not able to feel his pain when he cried out to them for mercy from the pit. It was only his full brother Binyamin who was able to feel his pain and suffering. If we want to be true brothers and sisters to our fellow Jews, we have to feel their pain completely and look for ways to alleviate it. So those last two sections were not related to the first part, but I thought that was also good information too to share. So I hope and pray that we all will create that in our lives, that we have hope and we give others hope as well, and that we will all merit to live and see the coming of Mashiach speedily in our days and the rebuilding of our final everlasting Beis HaMikdash. Amen, and thanks for watching.